Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Southern Steel Show. My name is Brody Huff. I have a guest on tonight, Benjamin Griesinger, my best friend. We've actually already been talking for about an hour before I realized that my recording equipment went kaput and my files got corrupted because an SD card went bad while we were recording. Now, we're not even going to try to re-talk over what we've already talked about. We're just going to keep talking about other random stuff. We didn't actually decide what we were talking about before I started re-recording.
Well, what we had
think,
been
Ben?
talking about before was, the business market, the college market, and more so just what I think is going to be society in the upcoming area. I think we're going to have a trades boom. I mean, that's actually the direction I'm heading. I'm planning on going into the electrical field, like working as an electrician. Because, I mean, that kind of stuff pays good. It's really not that hard of work. I think most trades, they're difficult. Don't get me wrong, they're difficult. But if you're smart, what you do is you work a trade for about 10 years. And after 10 years, you start a business in that trade. And then you have other people work for you. You don't do the work. I mean, you might have to every once in a while, but you're not a day in and day out. If I was to own an electrical company after 10 years, I'm not going to every single job. I might go to a couple, but I'm not going to every single job. That's what the employees are for. And so, I mean, that's kind of where I see stuff going here in the near future is people are realizing that college degrees are stupid and they really don't mean much unless you're in a couple specific fields. Anything medical, you have to have a degree. Obviously. Like
If you are hands-on medical.
if you're hands-on, you cannot, like, whenever I was a teenager, I wanted to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist, one of the two. I didn't know which one at the time. But I was going to go to school for it. And then I realized, it's like a minimum to get paid not a lot. And really, you're only going to get hired by a public school 4-year degree.
Yeah.
If you want anything good, it's 8 to 10 years. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do that, but maybe it'll be worth it. So I looked at it. Most you're really going to make is about $50,000 a year as a psychologist. And it's about a $500,000 degree.
Which, to be fair, those fields kind of suck.
They're depressing.
Everybody that does that nowadays is like a gay or ally of gay, blue-haired white lady that basically tells you you've done nothing wrong, so don't kill yourself.
It's the
blame it on
fault.
the other people,
yeah.
And then they blame it on the other people, go out and kill the other people, and then kill themselves.
Yeah.
Therapy is dumb unless it's like with a pastor or a very close friend. I think that family can overlook problems, so I don't think it's smart to do therapy with family.
Yeah.
I think it's good to talk problems, but pastors are there for a reason for Christians.
Yeah.
Therapy is not even technically wrong. It's just like you've let it be. Christians don't need it if they're healthy Christians. They go to their pastor and they go to the Lord. So that's only a worldly trade. Yeah.
Well,
so it's horrible.
Well, I mean, you look at the Bible, and again, we're Christians, so that's where we base everything off of. The word therapy is not in the Bible. But what is over and over and over again in Proverbs, throughout the Bible, but particularly Proverbs, is seek wise counsel.
Yeah.
Not seek a therapist or counselors. It's seek wise counsel. It means go to people in your life who are living good, not just financially or marriage, living a good, godly life, who are successful in the areas you struggle in, and seek their wisdom. That's not something that up until we've introduced drugs and I'm trying to think of the right way to put it, but just an adulterous lifestyle, perverse living. Once perverse living got added to our society as the norm through pornography and all these other things, that's when therapists became a thing. That's when
everything is meant as a Band-Aid. It's like, how do we fix it enough that we can keep doing what causes the problem instead of fixing the problem?
Exactly. It's funny. If you look at the porn industry, there's so many regulations on it, but they won't ban it.
No, they won't ban it.
They look at it, they say, yeah, this is terrible for children, which it is. Why would that not be terrible for adults?
Dude, I saw something. I don't remember the exact
They just won't ban
but
it,
I think
though.
it was something like from the few states that have made it a requirement to, like, you have to file an ID
Yeah.
to use it in those states. From those few states doing it, the major porn companies dropped profits like a third.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, Texas is one of them.
yeah. So is Arkansas. So is Utah. I think Louisiana is. There's
wanna-
more. There's more
I
and
want
more
to say
jumping
Oklahoma
onto it.
is.
They might have jumped on
They're.
I think
very
Utah actually
red,
started it though,
so.
didn't it? Was it Louisiana or Utah?
I want to say it was Utah.
It's like one of the few
Utah
things
sounds right.
good that Mormons have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, you're exactly right. There's so many areas where they just
Which is weird because they
rather
like
than
marry
just
children
fixing, yeah. Well, rather just fixing the problem. Our society is always looking for a quicker fix rather than just taking care of the problem. You're so proud of that joke, aren't you?
I am proud of that. I like joking about every other religion because they're all wrong.
Oh,
I want them to be
hilarious.
Christians and I want them to stop being idiots.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to like do that nicely.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not a missionary. I never will be. That's not a
Well,
calling that's on my life. I was talking to my
because
dad.
you grew up roughneck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which we also talked about earlier.
yeah.
Dang it. Anyways, short recap. Everyone's a wuss.
Pretty
Yep,
much.
that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Except me, obviously. I'm great.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of there, but you did miss a snake from like 3 inches away with a shotgun, so I can't give you
I'm
too
not
much,
proud of that moment. I'm not proud of that moment.
We talked about how living, like even the basic understanding of living has changed over time to where like raw living is looked at as this horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say I've shot a dog and people assume I'm a psychopath. Like no, the dog was going to die and there's no reason to spend $1,000 for a vet to give it a shot when a 22 shell costs 22 cents.
Yeah.
Like high dollar 22 shells cost that much. Usually it costs like 5 cents.
That's like premium.
It's like premium.
That's
the thing.
I've never heard of a 22 shell costing 22. Like that's a 9 mil. That's 45.
That's like Winchester 22 Wildcat hollow point copper coated 22 shells, dude. Like
with a little bit of
expensive
diamond
one.
powder in the gunpowder.
They're grenader rounds. They blow up when you shoot them.
What are the ones that they light on fire so you can
Incendiary.
incendiary rounds?
Wait,
it is.
you said you were about to say so you can see them.
Yeah.
If you see them, it's a tracer.
Tracer
if they
round.
light what you hit on fire, it's an incendiary round. Anyways, that's what I meant by people are wusses. It's like they didn't get raised in a way where they understand what actual basic life is. They just some people get raised in a way where they still understand common sense for the most part. Well, anyways, we were talking about Mormons and porn. That sounded horrible.
Yeah.
Killing dogs.
Well, we were talking about how society likes to put band-aids and not actually.
I'm
fix
glad you're
things.
here, Ben. I forgot what we were talking about. I was like, this
Yeah.
is a bad way to get back into the conversation.
Well, I mean, I think that we've pretty much covered the idea of society needs to stop putting band-aids on stuff and just fix the problem. And
are they willing to fix the problem versus... That's where I was going. I was saying I'm never going to be a missionary.
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad, because I talked about it on my last podcast. There's times for Solomon and good life, and there's times for David and war. And we're not in a time for Solomon. The war is not just talking anymore. And I'll have people that are up like with me until I get to the point where it's like, yeah, so we should actually fight. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
We should continue to talk. Conversations are important. Conversations are important. You're gonna talk your way into a grave because it's not time for that anymore.
Well, I think the way you look at it is I agree with you and disagree with you at the same time because I think there's a middle ground. I think you need to look back at the kings of old, back in medieval time, even when they were going to war. Right before that happened, the kings would meet and they would say, "Do you really want to do this? Do you want to shed blood on the field, or do we want to settle this between us right now?" And I think you can still you can have a conversation up to the point where it's okay. We are face to face. Let's figure this out now in conversation. It's not working. Gloves are off. Let's go.
I guess
from a hockey term, throw the gloves down. Let's go.
The real question is going to be, when are people actually willing to start using generalizations in the reasoning versus specific people?
Yeah.
You will make like I was talking to Rick not too long ago. I won't say his last name because I'm not going to tie anyone into my political thoughts too much. But we were talking it's weird because I go through regular life with a governmental mindset. And in government, you shouldn't be making any laws that have anything to do with specific instances or specific people.
Mm-hmm.
That is a failure on your part. Everything should be generalized. And that should also keep you out of a lot of things where it's a local problem or even like a family problem.
Yeah.
Where smaller groups of people will fix themselves versus you trying to do everything. And it's like, hey, you can't say, oh, yes, this specific one time that this happened, it was good. So that means we should continue to allow all the bad times to happen. Or the opposite way. This is all good, but this one time this was used for a bad thing, so let's ban it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, neither one of those is smart. Some things are not your problem. They shouldn't really have anything to do with the government at all. And it's always going to be how it is in both ways, in both extremes. Either mostly good, one bad time, mostly bad, one good time. The government will continue to be involved in that so long it is not a government that is submitted to God.
Yeah.
And is willing to fight those that are not. There's too big of a presence of other religions in this country. It was never meant to be anything but a Christian nation.
Yeah.
Anyone that says that, oh, but the freedom of religion, like, yeah, you know what George Washington once said whenever he was having to deal with Muslims? If only I had a navy to crush these people out of existence.
Yeah.
I don't think he was going to be friendly to what we have nowadays. And I don't think that he would have went like, oh, only Muslims, though. The Hindus are fine. Or, yeah, the Buddhists are fine. Or, yeah, Jews. Or, yeah, anything else. It's like, no, Christian. That was it. Maybe Freemasons. I guess he was one of those. What do you think about Freemasons, Ben? Just dive into it.
I know nothing about them.
Me neither. Most people don't.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you look at it, to an extent, that is a conversation that needs to happen. Is when are we going to be willing to actually look at the original founding and say this was the intent? Why are we not there? And actually act on
I think if we can survive as a nation long enough for American people of our generation and some very late millennials and our children to be the majority of the population, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But can we survive the length of time needed for the older generations that are not willing to do that to lose power? And are we going to survive being repopulated by a bunch of random people that have nothing to do with the United States, have no obligations here, and hate us?
I mean, I think you start by reinstituting psych wards and mental hospitals. Because
I think if you reinstituted psych wards, if you reinstituted the death penalty, you'd solve a lot of problems as long as you also banned immigration outright.
Well, the reason I say that is, there are plenty of people on both sides, but primarily I see it on the left. There are plenty of people who are just crazy. They don't know what gender they are. They want our kids to be able to be a dog.
So we put the liberals in the psych wards.
No, I'm not saying all of them, but there are some of them that are legitimately like, you're insane.
Yes.
Like, you're wearing a tail. You've got a reverse mullet on your head, so you shave straight down the middle. You bark at people, and you think that's normal behavior. That's something I see from people on drugs. Like, that's not a normal thing.
I feel like I've talked to drug addicts that were more sane.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I have.
It's hard. It's hard to deal with it because you come to the point where it is like, hey, are we going to say whatever means necessary, or are we going to continue to go like, oh, we gotta be nice?
Yeah.
The American dream. It's like, frick you. That's not what the American dream is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I saw today, Virginia, the state of Virginia, it's flipped blue in the last few decades. I don't even know if it was ever really red. It was just more conservative.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too close to the Yankees, so it's just kind of fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they're the oldest U.S. colony. Like, they were giants, so technically they were like part. Like some of the other colonies were part of Virginia at one point, and it just slowly went down. But it was the King's colony, and a bill just got passed out of the like a committee in the legislature, the state legislature, that is going to ban semi-automatic firearms. I'm like, and you know what? It was written by an Indian immigrant. It's like, that's not an American. That's why you can't do that. Like, immigration should be banned, and immigrants should not be able to hold public office. Period. The kids of immigrants, you can make a conversation for that if you actually have strict immigration policies.
Yeah.
And no one that's here now. Like, immigration after the point of reinstating in the future.
I saw a piece of legislation that's in the House, I believe, in Congress. It's funny. I say this as a joke. I think you'd like the legislation. You wouldn't like the guy because he's Jewish. But it's legislation to ban dual citizens from taking political office. And I think that's great.
I think the dual citizen argument is kind of useless because that didn't really... Everything has to do with money. It doesn't have to do with the... The citizenship is a good way to be able to tell where their loyalties lie, I think. So when I first got in on the issue, I held the idea that you're talking about, where it's like, yeah, you can't hold office if you're a dual citizen. And now I'm like, I don't want to allow that so long. Like, if you make that a law, then all of the dual citizens that are in office are just going to drop the other citizenship and try to expunge any records of that citizenship. So now you don't know where their loyalties lie. Right now, I'm like, freak you, dude. You're not an American. Yeah. It's like, and I'm an American supremacist as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't care anymore. I have people like, oh, so you just hate them. It's like, no, I don't hate them, but I don't trust these people at all. Yeah. There's you know who Thomas Aquinas is?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah. In his writings, I don't remember which one. I assume, honestly, it was probably the giant one. Summa Theologica is a huge book of, like, multiple writings all just compiled together. But he was talking about, like, you do not let foreigners have the same rights as your own citizens for, like, 4 generations. Because if you allow them to have those rights, they will not assimilate. They will not become part of your culture. Yeah. They will not be friendly to you. Because they can go, oh, we can stay the same and slowly take this place over. That's what Muslims are doing. Yeah. That's why we have all the issues we do. There's actually going to be, I know you know this, a forum on Sharia law here at the PA campus on, I think, the 12th. Is it the 12th or the 10th?
I think it's the 12th.
I think it's February 12th, where they're going to go over, because there's
It is, because I was supposed to do the chapel on that day, but it got moved to the 11th.
I got you. But there's a big ballot proposed ballot measure in the GOP primaries, if I'm not mistaken. That's the details around it, where the Republicans would try to get, I don't even know if it's a ballot measure. It might be for just like a party platform vote, where it's Texas should ban Sharia law, like codify the ban of Sharia law. Because right now it's like an executive order which holds 0 weight. Yeah. And that needs to happen. But also, it's not going to do much without the understanding that the freedom of religion as understood today is false. Yeah. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. That would require going, okay, every single person here that is a Muslim is an enemy of the state. Therefore, they don't get the same rights. Yeah. And that's not going to happen. But it's true. Yeah. And I don't care. I hear people like, well, some of these Muslims are better people than these Christians. Like, you're right. I don't give a crap. Their belief system does not produce more good people. It just produces some good people every once in a while. Yeah. The bad Christians are not bad because of the belief system. They're bad. So, booyah. I had to pause for just a second. What was I saying? Oh, yes. The belief system of Christianity is not what produces bad people. Yeah. Bad people just exist. Yeah. A so-called good person in a different belief system is a phenomenon. It is not the norm.
Well, I mean, there's a difference. I think I can sum it up really good. There's a difference between a religion where it is okay with evil, straight up. You know, child marriages, murdering people just because they're a different race. Like, there's a difference in that and a book that says none of that, but people completely misinterpret it. Like, there are people who, in the Christian sphere, who, like my grandmother, for instance, grew up in a household where her father said that she would lose her salvation if she left their family to join a different gospel singing group.
What?
That there is a difference in someone not understanding the truth of the gospel and the Bible, and a book that literally says it's okay to marry a child, and to kill everybody who does not believe.
Yeah, and enslave them.
And when you look at the Bible, they're gonna, people will say, oh well, the Bible, people were slaughtered in the Bible for these reasons. It's like, they weren't slaughtered for no reason. They were people who stood in God's way, who were against his people straight up and actually murdering his people. Christians are not doing that today. We're not just murdering people to murder people. We don't do that. The only time that Christians have used violence in that way is the Crusades. And in my opinion, not all the Crusade was bad. Because there was actual death being brought on the people.
First through third, good. Fourth after, no.
Yes.
Not good.
Because, I mean...
And only the Middle Eastern Crusades. All of the European Crusades were like the Catholic Church against Protestant religions.
Yeah. But, there is a difference between a text that literally says it's okay to marry a child or murder somebody in the name of Allah, and a book that says these things were bad in the past, turn from that, follow Christ, live this lifestyle, and you're good. Allah literally says, do this and you'll be favorable. Christ says, I've done everything. Just follow my word. Do good and follow me, and you're good.
And a lot of Christians make the mistake of throwing out the Old Testament as like, all of this is, what's it called when something is like not, doesn't actually mean that. It actually means this. It's like a metaphor. Or something like that. It's like, what are you talking about?
A lot of people think the Old Testament is metaphorical, and that's stupid.
The Old Testament and the New Testament both can be used in both metaphorical and literal.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be used that way.
Yeah.
You can't say this one's literal and this one's metaphorical.
Well, the thing is, you can look at a story in the Old Testament, like, you can look at the story of David and Bathsheba. That literally happened. The greatest king of Israel ever murdered one of his generals because he wanted to sleep with his wife. That literally happened. The metaphorical application is, hey, don't let power get to your head and cause you to stumble. Yeah. Be humble in who you are and follow Christ always. So it's both. But people like to throw out the literal or the metaphorical of either side and pick what they want out of it. The Bible was written for us to learn from, and also we can see the situations people were in, and realize, oh, I can see how that can apply today. It's not like, oh, this was written specifically for my situation. It's, oh, I can see how what I'm dealing with can be similar to that. Let me see where they messed up or where they did good and try to emulate that. And I think that's a big problem that Christians face, is they love nitpicking.
Yeah, they do. And that's, I think,
the
nitpicking and the... Everybody loves nitpicking.
Yeah.
Nitpicking? Yes. When you throw it out as symbolic, that's why you get questions that remain majority understood incorrectly, of like, can war be justified? Can violence be justified? Like, no, the Old Testament is over. We don't live under the Old Covenant. Like, no part of the Old Covenant itself said kill everybody that doesn't believe what you believe.
Yeah.
Now, there are instances where it's like, kill everybody here. Like, talking to the Jews, like, you take the land, you kill everybody there, you get rid of them, you make no covenants, and you'll remain in covenant.
Well, and even in that I know what passage you're talking about. Even that, it wasn't, go and kill all of them. It was drive them out.
Yeah, you either had to kill them or they had to leave.
It was one or the other. Drive them out. Get them out of that area, because one, it's a joke now, but this land is promised to you. This is my land. I am God. This is the land I've given you. drive them out because they do not think like me.
Yeah.
They do not follow me, and they're going to corrupt you. And I kind of want to take it back to what we were saying. I don't want to dive too far into this because I had a point I wanted to say. Bringing it back to immigration and the stuff we're facing today, something that people love to bring up in all realms of politics, and I'm going to use healthcare as a specific example. The amount of times I've heard people say, we need a universal healthcare system. You know, there are other countries who have it. The UK has it. Canada has it. We are not those countries. We're never supposed to be those countries. And most people would say it in a joking way of it's like, well, then go there. But I mean it literally.
Yeah, I mean it literally too.
If you're like, it's so great
out of here, dude.
It's so great over there. Go over there. It's really not as hard as people make it out to be. Moving is not that difficult. Especially if, like, you want United Healthcare, go to Canada. It's so easy to immigrate to Canada from the U.S. It's not... UK, too. It is so easy to immigrate to the UK from the U.S. because we have such good relations. So it's like, you want that? Go there. We're not supposed to be like every other nation. If we were like every other nation, what's the point? What is the point in everything that has been built? If we were supposed to be like the UK, we would have never split from the UK to build something different. The reason we split is we saw, man, this ain't working. What they're doing isn't working. And if you track, UK's timeline, it didn't really change much. It's pretty similar. The people can't have weapons. That we couldn't have weapons back then. That's one of the biggest differences.
We weren't considered citizens back then. The citizens of Britain could, and they didn't lose that right for a long time.
Exactly.
But we were seen as, first off, all of the colonists weren't English.
Yeah.
So you can't give a giant right to a bunch of random people that also don't believe in what you believe in. I think, honestly, the same case, if all of the colonists in the United States at the time, when it was just colonies, were British, and only British, and they didn't let anyone else come, I don't think that you would have had a Revolutionary War.
Mm-mm.
Honestly.
Mm-mm.
And I think that Britain would be fine with all of them having, first off, parliamentary rights,
mm-hmm.
and second, the firearms rights, because no, you're a British citizen. And there were British citizens that wanted the rights there that also didn't have them, because it's like, we can't give it to you and not the rest of the colonists, so you're still just a colonist. Especially because a lot of them, if you're not following under the religion of the king, then you're not going to have all the same rights. Yeah. But it's like, okay, think about it. The arguments that we're making where it's like, illegal immigrants should not vote in the United States. It's like, well, if I was the British king, and these colonies were made up of German and British and Irish and all these other random citizens from
mm-hmm.
all over the world. They're in our colonies and they're under our rule, but they're not ours. I probably wouldn't want them to have any say in the parliament either.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad that the American Revolution happened because America is special. But I can also see the reasoning that would have been behind Britain at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I see it, but I don't think it's necessarily applicable today now. Like, it's the same idea, but there's so many different facets of it that it's a completely different ballgame, in my opinion.
I still don't want anyone that's not an American citizen voting, baby.
No, I agree. I think we both agree on that. But I've noticed, like, I think other countries are going to realize it before America how bad immigration is.
They already are.
Because, I know they already are, especially the UK. The UK has it so bad.
The UK government is refusing to do anything about it. Some of the other European governments, their people realize, and they were just finally folding. Like, Poland has just banned immigration from Muslims, if I'm not mistaken. Italy is, like, actively trying to get them to stop coming.
Yeah. Well, I've seen like citizens of like the UK that are so they're taking things into their own hands. They hate it so much.
U.S. citizens that go into Great Britain right now, when they get there, they have their digital footprint checked.
Mm-hmm.
Muslims that show up on the beaches are not checked.
It's stupid.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
They want them to get taken over. So who's paying you to want them to? Because they don't want to. Because they obviously have protection from that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. They're not there to protect themselves or the citizens. So who's paying you? Who's the puppeteers? You know,
It's either there's a puppeteer or they're that stupid. And I could see them being that stupid. Because the thing is, people nowadays love to elect stupid people because they know how to talk.
yes, if you've watched some of the people in charge over there, a lot of them don't know how to talk. And that's why I lean more to the puppeteer thing. Like,
Yeah,
who got you into office?
Yeah.
That's like seeing like AOC get elected, and it's like, okay, you're dumb. Like, you got elected because people like to elect stupid people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see others like Randy Fine, who's a big fat dude from Florida.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good at talking. And he's not stupid. But you're sitting there looking at him and hearing his opinions, and you're like, who the crap paid for you to get in here?
Yeah.
Like, you're evil, dude.
Yeah.
He was writing his name on missiles that we sold. I don't even know if it was we sold or if he wrote them on Israeli missiles whenever he was over in Israel. But it was like, heads up. And it was used to bomb Palestine. It's like, you're writing heads up on that, dude? We're not actually involved in this. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, he that guy's a slob on his own.
You know, I think
But-
the only, like, politician that I can, like, confidently say I don't think is in anybody's pocket is Fetterman.
Sweatpants guy?
That dude is not in any...
Honestly, yeah.
He is the most middle ground person I've ever seen. Democrats
kinda-
hate him on
He's
issues
kind of useless.
Yeah.
But I understand
Because
what
Democrats
you're saying.
hate him on issues that Republicans love him, and Republicans hate him on issues that Democrats love him. He's straight down the middle. Like, immigration, he is as Republican as you can get. But, like, the LGBTQ stuff, he's as liberal as you can get.
I
And
think
so-
the only good man in the U.S. legislature, either the House of Representatives or the Senate, the only good person and not in a pocket is Thomas Massey. And he's the most hated guy
What about,
right now.
What about Senator Kennedy?
You know,
I love that guy.
that guy's so
funny.
hilarious.
He's
It's
so
hard
funny.
it's hard to want to try to look up information on him. Like, I don't want to be disappointed. He's gonna die soon. I don't really care to lose my hero here. You know,
My wife.
he's
and I
hilarious.
will be scrolling on my wife's TikTok, and
Unicorn piss.
it'll have a compilation of, like, Senator Kennedy core, and it's like all of his. They're so fun. There was one where it was like, she thinks you can land on the sun just because it's nighttime. It's like, that's crazy.
He's hilarious, dude.
He's so
I love
funny.
him, so I'm unwilling to try to find dirt on him. I'm like, I don't want to be disappointed. I like this guy. I don't think he's going anywhere because he's so old and he's been in the Senate so long. So
Yeah.
it's like, he'll retire. He won't get voted out, but he's also not going to try to get voted up.
Yeah.
He's not controversial in how he votes or what he pushes. He's just hilarious in how he talks. I don't remember what the exact one was, but it was like whenever he was talking on a bill that was trying to, like, get oil to slowly go away. He's like, what do you think cars are going to run on? And it was fairy farts and unicorn piss or
Yeah.
something like that. And you're like, what? It's like that. What a statement from the U.S. Senate floor, dude.
Yeah, he has some funny ones. You know, this is kind of derailing the topic a little bit, but I have to talk about it. Facebook pisses me off.
Yeah,
Because
I don't really use
the
that much
amount
anymore.
of things on Facebook where it'll be like a headline story. It's like Senator Kennedy said this to AOC, and I'm reading it. I'm like, he didn't say that. Like,
No.
you're straight up lying, and I know you are because I saw this exact storyline with 2 different names 3 posts above, and it's so frustrating. It doesn't just do that with it does it with sports too, and that's where it really annoys me. Because, like, I'm a big hockey fan right now, and I'll see something about, like, the Dallas Stars, and be like, Dallas Stars captain Jamie Benn said this, and I'm like, no, he didn't.
Do you pay attention to
No, he didn't.
The Facebook page Not the Bee? It's like a parody to the Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
So the Babylon Bee is like fake headlines as a joke.
Yeah.
And Not the Bee posts real headlines that are so stupid you'd think they're fake and they're real.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Well, and they do that, and I've noticed that, like, they'll post some more serious stuff too. That's like, this is a problem.
Yeah, I actually like them. I like that page.
I like both of them. They're both funny.
But legitimately speaking, anyone that would actually be able to make any kind of difference that I don't think is in the pocket of anyone right now. I think it is Thomas Massey, and I think that he's hated because he's not a Trumper.
Mm-hmm.
MAGA doesn't mean anything. Nobody can agree on what Make America Great Again means. I have a different understanding of what that is than Trump.
Yeah.
The guy 5 miles down the road has a different understanding than the guy that lives in New York that's a MAGA guy. It's all just get behind Trump.
Yeah.
He's not MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
He is Make America Great Again. He's not Trump MAGA.
Yeah.
And so he's hated because he's like one of the most fiscally responsible people there.
Mm-hmm.
He votes like an LC student, like a leadership Congress student. If you look at his voting, like I saw a statement from him here a while back, so I went to looking into it because he said, like, I vote with Republicans 91% of the time. I don't vote with them whenever it's gay or fiscally irresponsible. It's like, if you're doing something that is not conservative and good for the United States, I'm not going to vote with you because you're a Republican.
Yeah.
And you're compromising.
He doesn't like playing the game.
He doesn't play the game.
I respect that.
Every single bill, no matter what good might have been in the bill, because, you know, the like omnibus bills, like he didn't vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill because there's crap in the One Big Beautiful Bill too. Like a lot more pork than there is good stuff. His whole reasoning for not voting for it had nothing to do with the rest of the bad stuff. And, you know, he didn't say it did. It might have, but it was like, it was just because they were going to raise the debt again. He's like, I'm not voting for that.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my thing. The only two people that I've ever liked after diving into them is Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. They're both Kentuckians. Rand Paul's a little more iffy, which is why I'm not like getting all the way behind him. But Thomas Massey is legitimately a good statesman.
Yeah.
And I really hope he doesn't lose his race. Because Trump has endorsed someone behind him, and there's a lot of money being poured into that one. But Massey's made a name just based off the fact that he doesn't bend to anybody, dude.
Yeah.
And he's a farmer. When he's done up there, he goes home. Someone just videoed him. He was fixing fence, and you're watching him like, he's not doing that for the video. He's actually fixing the fence. Because I know what it looks like to fix a fence. This guy's not like hitting the top of the post with a hammer or something. He's got a fence post driver that sucks to use.
Oh, yeah.
Takes him like 3 licks. I'm like, yeah, that's not easy to do.
3 of them is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even in soft ground, it's like, nah, you can't do that unless you know what you're doing. Like, that guy actually knows what he's doing.
Unless he's got farm boy strength.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and I would really like to see him put in the presidential office, but I don't think he'd be able to get anything done because everyone in the House and Senate is an enemy.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where it's like, I don't even know that I would be willing to give individual trials if something was to go down. It's like, okay, we're arresting the Senate and the House. I think I'd do something more similar to like the Nuremberg trials at this point. Like they had arrested the entire Nazi high command and put them all on trial. And there were a few that got individual convictions, but all of them were tried at the same time, and most of them got the same penalty. Yeah. It's like, I am fine with the downfall of that system if these people are what's propping it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you did that, then everything besides the basis of what U.S. government was supposed to look like would fall apart. And I actually think the basis would still be there. I don't think the base would fall at the same time, because the Constitution is not flawed past what has been amended in it. I think most amendments are stupid.
Yeah.
Like income tax, the 19th Amendment. We argue about that a lot. I had a 3-hour conversation with one of the girls here about voting rights for women. Anyways, we won't dive into that. You had your alcohol ban and your alcohol ban repeal. Both of those were amendments to the Constitution. Both dumb. You had your Senate change. So used to, in the original Constitution, the senators were appointed by the states. You know this. You know all this. And now they get voted in. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Senators should have term limits because they're not supposed to be voted in. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be appointed, but when you let senators decide how to stay, then they're going to vote to stay.
Yeah.
Easier. House of Representatives and President, I don't think either one of them should have term limits, but I think the Senate should either have term limits or go back to how it's actually supposed to run. You have your... I think we got lowered... There's an amendment that lowered the voting right to 18, right? Instead of 21.
Yeah.
I think that was dumb. Sure. I'd have been fine with not voting the first time. I think that was a stupid choice.
I mean, the main election you're going to vote on is president. I missed my first presidential election by like 2 months because I turned 18 2 months after the deadline.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whatever. So I didn't get to vote until I was 21 or 20 or whatever. And I was like, oh, I voted. Great. Like, it didn't really affect me.
The original stipulations for voting where it was like you had to be, I think it was actually 25. I think you had to be 25 and a landowner.
Yeah.
And a citizen in the context of like, hey, maybe if you're a landowner, you are a citizen.
Yeah.
Because at the time, they didn't have all the immigration policies at the time of writing the Constitution. There was a stipulation where it was like no state can regulate immigration specifically, and also the federal government can't ban it to any colony until like 1840 something.
Yeah.
From the time of the Constitution coming in, and it might have been later. It was in the 1800s. Because everybody that was moving here was becoming an American. They were here to make a life for themselves. They actually cared about the country.
Yeah.
And if you bought land, you really did. So that was what being a citizen was. So if you were a landowner and 25 and a male, then you could vote.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, there wasn't stipulations on race at the federal level. That was always a state issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the 13th Amendment, good. Slavery shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mistakes when you go to trying to change the original document. So I think that if you took away how stuff stands right now, the original document would probably stay, but only a few of the amendments would. In the sense of people that are trying to rebuild America would throw out a whole lot. Most of the United States code is trash.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I think if I'm not mistaken, when David Barton was talking about the U.S. code, he was like, dude, it would take you like 600 something years if you read it this many hours a day, every day of your entire life. You'd die and have to be like, what's it called whenever you just come back? Revived or reincarnated or anything like that for centuries to be able to read all of it. And a lot of it is redundant. It's like, that's the same law, but they made it not 300, we're 250 years old. The country, not me. I'm not a vampire. Are you a vampire? Anyways.
You'll never
decades old, they make a law, and then decades later, they're like, we don't really feel like dealing with looking to see if there's actually law, and we're just not enforcing it. So we're going to make a new law. And it's the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? You could simplify everything if you would get the feds out of most stuff. Yeah. Most of the departments of the federal government are false. It doesn't fall under federal jurisdiction. It's just that they've kind of taken it.
Yeah. So they've stepped in.
Yeah. It's not a federal or a state jurisdiction to control firearms. It's like no infringement on arms, which means nothing. Infringement is that little tiny, like you move at all, that's an infringement because you're on the very edge of an issue.
Yeah.
So if you infringe at all, then you're breaking the Second Amendment as it was written and how the English language works. That means that neither the federal or the state governments can do anything about it, and yet both of them step in all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do that. That's to control the populace. That's for nothing else.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild. We just kind of ping-ponged there, or not pinballed.
Yeah, we do.
For a while.
We do a lot of that in our normal conversation, let alone whenever we get set down and you get me on a heated topic. Where did we... I think I was talking about kicking Muslims out of the country before we got to that.
Well, I think originally we were talking about shooting dogs.
Jeez. Something like that. But you can't... What are you willing to do to keep the U.S. as it's supposed to be and get it back to how it's supposed to be? And are you actually willing to do what it takes? Andrew Jackson gets bashed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did some things that stained his name. The Trail of Tears. He owned slaves. He sold most of Mississippi privately because he bought a whole lot of land whenever he was in the military and then just resold it once they conquered the territory after the War of 1812. So he's looked at as like a shady character. And it's like, yeah, but think about what he did good too. It's like everybody has their mistakes, but the mistakes always get like outshine everything else. And if someone owned a slave, it's like, we're going to judge you in the context of today. You're a horrible person. It's like, man, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like half of them owned slaves, half of them didn't. More than half of the people that wrote the Constitution, if they did have slaves, they freed them, and they were abolitionists. They just couldn't get enough people to agree to make it where it was actually a equal rights, no more slavery thing. Because there were people that were trying to abolish slavery at the time of writing the Constitution.
Yeah.
It just couldn't be ratified with all of the colonies if they put that in there, even though the majority of them were actually for that. But Andrew Jackson was a harsh man. I won't take that away from him. When people say that, they're right. Because he was a scorched earth, by any means necessary, this country will be America.
Yeah.
Manifest destiny and all that, before that was even like an actual thought, like a term, I guess. Because it was actually a newspaper editor that came up with the term manifest destiny. But that's what Andrew Jackson was thinking, like, expand. Let's make America bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it by any means necessary. And we're not going to let anyone tell us what to do with this land. Because he hated the British, dude. It wasn't like they attacked us, so I don't like them. It was like you brought up British people or Great Britain in conversation, and there's records where he just goes off. He just gets mad. It's like, why are you talking about them? They suck.
Yeah. Me too.
That's American pride. That's what it should be. And I think that scorched earth to get America is the same thing as what it needs to be to get back America.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a while before I'm going to have enough people that think that way where I can say it and it mean enough to cause something to happen versus it being a conversation where it just sounds like I'm complaining.
Yeah.
If a war started, I might not be very useful, but I'd definitely join if it was a civil war. I'm not helping unless I get drafted and forced into it, I'm not helping us fight anybody.
What if we go to war with Israel?
I'm not helping us fight that either because I think it would all be a show.
Yeah.
So, like if we started a war with Israel in this administration, I'd probably just stay here and start trying to fight the federal government. Like, you're doing this for some reason, and it's not for any good reason. So I don't trust you.
Trust you.
No, because I don't. Why would I change my trust
Yeah.
because of that one thing? I think it'd be a front. I don't think that there'd be anything from that. They'd probably like, oh, we lost, we surrender. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like 3 nukes and they're gone. What do you mean we surrender, you retard? You ever read about the Samson option?
Mm-mm.
It's this Israeli military plan that's like written down. You can find information online. It's out there in the open. If Israel comes under attack and no one will help them, their solution is, hey, you know what? Frick you guys, everybody dies. And they had, like, these files got leaked where they have specific capitals targeted where they're just going to send nukes everywhere if they're going to fall. So it's like, okay, we're going to nuke London. We're going to nuke the capital of India. I don't know what it is because I don't care. And we're going to nuke Washington, D.C. You're just going to nuke a bunch of capitals because frick you guys, you didn't help us. It's like, that's not what an ally does.
I know.
It's like, that's what someone who's holding everyone hostage does.
Yeah.
Anyways, we won't get into that too deep.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had some pretty good conversation.
Yeah. I know it's getting late, so we're going to go ahead and let you go. For those listening, thank you for listening. I'm sorry that I missed last week. Join us next time. Have a great week.